Officer in the Indian Navy and the director of the Society for Policy Studies. He joins us now live from New Delhi. Uday, good to have you on the show. Now, the timing of this incident is actually quite interesting because even before this latest attack, there had been large troop buildups on the border by both sides. But the incident, the attack, or the incident actually happened during a time of de-escalation in the Galwan Valley. What do you think that means?
That is the anomalous aspect of what has happened, which is that India and China had agreed to a de-escalation protocol. And while this was going on, from the reports that we have, it is evident that there was a scuffle, a contact between the Indian troops and the Chinese troops. And clearly, the way in which the Chinese troops had engaged with the Indians resulted in the death of a colonel, the commanding officer of that infantry battalion, and two other personnel. Now, this, to my mind, is a very, very serious development. It's a setback to the bilateral relationship because this is for the first time in almost 45 years that there has been a fatality along the line of actual control, which was relatively robust after the agreement between Prime Minister Narasimha Rao and Chinese President Jiang Zemin in 1993. So 27 years later, the fact that we have lost lives is serious development. And I'm afraid the Chinese interpretation of what has happened is not factual because this particular area, if you see it on the map, the Galwan Valley, it has not been claimed by China since 1962. So we are talking about 58 years. So the Indian understanding of the event is that unilaterally, the Chinese decided to move in across 5 locations. If you look at the map again, which you're showing, this is in the Ladakh region as also in Sikkim. My reading is planned move. Sorry, go ahead.
So is what you're saying that part of the problem that we're seeing between these two countries is the fact that the de facto border, the LAC, is so ill-defined?
Well, the LAC is notional. It does not exist. Since 1962, when India and China had a border war, this is almost 4,000 kilometers from the high Himalayas to the extreme east. And for 5 or 6 decades, both sides have their own perception, as they call it. Both sides have claim lines. And for 5 or 6 decades, there has been a military patrol awaiting political resolution. So what has happened is that from the Indian perspective, China has breached the protocol that was in place. And why they have done it, of course, one can link up with various other developments. But for now, India has lost army personnel. There are claims that China has also lost some lives. We don't know for sure. But this is a serious development for the bilateral relationship. And I think personally, it also is bringing into question the Asian century. If Asia's 2 largest neighbors can't live together, where are we headed?
Let's talk about the future of the relationship between these two countries. I mean, you said it was a setback, and you also touched upon it being the fact that there hasn't been a casualty on the line of actual control for at least 45 years. I mean, how much of a game changer is this? And is this perhaps the beginning of the end of what's been a fairly harmonious relationship between these two nuclear-armed countries?
It is. I think it is a major setback because till now there was the equivalent of an uneasy but a cordial relationship. And again, it is quite extraordinary that for these so many years, as I said, from Jiang Zemin's visit, which is 1993, not a shot has been fired, Alijan, in anger across this line of actual control between the two sides, despite the fact that the contact is very, very close, very proximate. Now, this is the anomaly again. India and China are nuclear weapon powers. The two militaries are, on occasion, in eyeball-to-eyeball contact. They have fairly modern military inventory. But the way this particular loss of life is being reported, they are talking about the use of weapons, stones, some other non-military equipment. So the fact that the two militaries have reached a point where the protocols have been breached shows that there has been a breakdown in the management of the line of actual control. And I think personally that this is the test for the political efficacy both of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and I dare say for President Xi Jinping in China.
All right, Uday Bhaskar, a pleasure to talk to you and always appreciate your analysis. Thank you.